Okay, so I told you I would make a video for you today, going over what we've been working on so far. So nothing too exciting just yet. What we've been working on is establishing an understanding of our various markers. So a marker is a cue or a sound that marks a moment in time that we like something, and then announces the arrival of food reward. For him, food reward. So prior to this, these cues and sounds haven't really meant anything. So I've been working to condition them together. So every time he hears these markers, food comes right after. So he has a different couple of ones, or different couple of markers, and they all mean different things. The big one right now is a clicker, and I'm really using that to build enthusiasm and shape new behaviors. So every time I'm using a lure, so I have a handful of treats and I have him follow my hand around, and I kind of use that to manipulate him into different behaviors. And as soon as he shows me the behavior that I like, I will click and then offer him a reward. And then our other two are going to be words. So we have good and okay. Good is going to be eventually more of a duration marker. So when I lure him into behavior, I will say the word good, and then periodically just keep saying good treat, to build up duration in each behavior. And then okay is going to be our terminal marker. So we'll use sit for example. If I lure him, come here bud. If I lure him into a sit, good. I want him to remain in behavior, good, until I use that word good. Okay, now it can come out of behavior. So they don't mean too much of a difference right now. A big thing is that when I say good, I'm bringing him food, and then when I say okay, I'm making him come out of behavior so he can come get the reinforcement from me. A key point here is that I am using the cues and the markers before I suggest that I'm going to feed him. So if I don't have my hand in my treat pouch, I'll say good, and then reach to get him a treat. If they're already in my hand, which a lot of times I'll do just to have a couple ready, I'll say good, and then bring my hand to him, good, bring my hand to him, okay, and then move. Because I want him responding to my cues and my sounds, my cues, my markers, and not my movement. I want my movements to be neutral. So if I tell him to sit, he should be in a sit regardless of what I'm doing around him. So I have to get him used to the neutrality of my movements through these markers. So okay, I don't want it to be sit. Okay, because then he's going to start responding to me moving away. So he'll start breaking behavior before I announce him that he's allowed to come out of behavior. So once he's a little bit more advanced, and we're asking him to be in behaviors for extended periods, I should be able to move away from him and disengage a little bit and do my own thing with him still remaining in behavior. So that is the biggest reason for establishing a solid understanding of the marker system. I'm just now starting to layer in commands. I wanted to make sure I avoided disassociation. So I wanted to make sure that he understood what I was asking him to do before I put a word on it, because I didn't want him to think that an alternative behavior meant that word, if that makes sense. So he's tired. He came in from being outside. I know it's not super exciting just yet. A big thing is motivating. I want him to be excited about each behavior and think more of it as his idea. Like, I'm not forcing him to do anything yet. I'm just playing around and offering him food and marking him and making him feel really good about himself before I have too much of an expectation. He's kind of, even though it's the middle of technically the second week, it's more so the beginning of his second week as far as how many days he's actually been here. So I'm going to start having a little bit higher expectations gradually. We're still mostly inside. Sometimes we'll do stuff on the front porch area or the lobby next door. I want to make sure that there's nothing really distracting him away from me so that he can learn productively and again, make it seems like it's his idea and he's in control of all of his reinforcements before I start putting a little pressure on and making it known that he has to do things through leash pressure and eventually e-collar pressure, things like that. Right now, it's just all fun and games for him, and he's getting a food for everything, participation in awards, and eventually, like I said, I will kind of start creeping the bar of expectations up. But I want it to be successful before I start doing any of that stuff. So definitely making sure he has a good understanding of what I'm asking for before I say, like, no, you did something wrong, which is not fair at all. So I will keep sending you video updates as we progress, and he will continue to be cute. Right, bud?